Like... Hey Internet! It's Jessica, and welcome to Seduce Me, the episodes, and today we're playing Erik's episode called My Princess, and I'm really excited about this. You guys know how long I've been waiting for this, so thank you, Michaela, for releasing this episode. And I'm just reading the bottom over here. It says Uberus. I'm fucking dying. It's amazing. Oh god. Just when I thought I was, you know, moving on from Erik, he comes back into my life. So, I'm sorry, Sam, we're gonna have to put you on hold. Anyway, before we get started, there's just a few things that I should let you know. If you want to play this episode, or any of the other episodes, or anything about Seduce Me, I'll have links in the description where you can get the game yourself. This is free to play, and I highly recommend it, especially, you know, Erik is bae, so if you want to get that. And also, please check out Michaela's work. I'll have her Patreon down there and everything, so if you want to see all her stuff, and if you want to give her money for her to make more stuff, then it's all in there if you want to check that out. And also, if you want to check out my Let's Play on Seduce Me 1 or 2 for Erik's route, I'll put them somewhere on the screen so you can check them out. Okay, I think I'm done now, so let's begin! When you're dating someone, you expect surprises, depending on who you're dating. The surprises can range from new habits they may have, or something that may have changed how you see them. When it comes to dating a demon, the possibilities become endless. That is true. That's right, I was in love with the demon. The many surprises he showed me, including him being an incubus, having tentacle powers, and being an ex-noble from a large expanding kingdom, I didn't think anyone could take the cake on top of those things. I was wrong. Oh hey, I found myself dressed in nines, sitting in my fiance's luxury car as we drove into the city of Chicago. I didn't wear fancy clothes often, so feeling lavish fabrics of the gown I was wearing against my skin was almost uncomfortable. I hope you guys can't hear that because my window is open. I think I should close that. Oh god. Still, I had to admit, when I saw myself in the mirror, I was floored at how I looked. I was in a beautiful designed red and black dress, with matching heels and jeweled accessories. I still would never know how Erik was able to obtain it all, but he gifted the gown, the shoes, and the jewelry to me with a simple smile. Aw, that's really sweet. Part of me knew that he had made the dress by hand. He owned a custom suit shop and had access to the finest fabrics in the city. That's right, it's canon that after Seduce Me 1, Erik becomes a fashion designer, which I think is freaking awesome because he owns a suit shop, so it's awesome. His skill wasn't limited to suits, however. He could make anything that was deemed as formal wear. As for the shoes and jewelry, I couldn't figure out how he decided to let it go. The drive into the city became filled with curiosity. Why did I have to be dressed up? Where exactly were we going? Erik?
Yes, my princess?
I haven't heard him say that in a long time, sorry. Where are we going? A chuckle escaped Erik's lips as he continued to drive into the night.
I told you, it's a surprise.
Oh my god! A surprise that required me to dress up like I'm going to a prom?
Not a prom, exactly.
Oh god, what is he doing? Erik. Erik's smile grew as he lowered a hand from the wheel and took a gentle hold of mine, bringing it to his lips and laying butterfly kisses all over it.
I promise you will enjoy yourself. You have my word.
Alright, you know, I trust you, Erik, so... Alright, I stared at Erik, a smile blush adoring on my face at his gentle words and kiss. Giving up at last, I nodded and simply let him guide us further into the heart of the city. Chicago was a beautiful city, especially at night. The lights were illuminated, the streets and buildings were a grand sight to behold, and the lively aura of the night's energy that filled every alley and sidewalk was simply enchanting. You could take me out of Chicago, but you could never take the love out of Chicago and me. I'd never been to Chicago, so... To my surprise, the traffic towards our destination was almost non-existent. We were in the richest part of Chicago, and at last we arrived at our destination. One that took completely off guard. Whoa. The outside looked like a regular business building. At the top of the tower was a large sign that said, "The Gateway," in bright yellow colors. Something about it stood out somehow, which made me curious. What was in store in this place? Erik led me out of the car, opening the door for me and escorting me out with a gentle hand. As he closed the door behind me, a man dressed in a bellboy suit rushed up to Erik and held out his hands. Erik dug his hands into the tuxedo pocket and finally took out a small white envelope and the car keys to the bellboy. The bellboy took the items and quickly rushed over to the driver's seat of the car, driving it off like a valet. He handed me a mask and silently instructed me to put it on as we walked up the steps to the door. It fit like a glove. A pair of bellboys opened the doors for Erik and me, revealing a lavish lobby with a single large pedestal platform in the middle of the room. Stepping up to it, we were stopped by a large woman in a dress suit.
Invitation?
I looked at Erik, watching him take out a golden slip of paper from his pocket and pass it to the woman. The guard looked over the parchment before nodding to Erik and stepping away from our path to the pedestal. Where on earth are we going? I remained silent still as we stepped up to the platform and settled into the middle of it. Erik guiding us to stop and stay still in place. Erik nodded to the guard, who simply nodded back and waved her hand in the air. As she did, this pedestal beneath us shifted and began to rise into the air. What the fuck is happening? This is like some JRPG shit, you know, like when you go into dungeon levels and then the platform rises up and stuff. That's what it reminds me of. I gripped Erik tightly as the platform beneath us ascended through the building. All around us were sights of pictures and diamond chandeliers. Whatever this was, I could tell that this was no means by a regular event. When we reached the top floor, or what I assumed to be the top floor, we were greeted by a pair of women in waitress suits, bowing to us in respect. As their bird-tail feathers and pure black eyes presented themselves to me, I knew that this was a demon party. Oh, okay, cool. We're partying with shadow people, apparently. The doors opened to a large ballroom, one that definitely didn't seem to fit the inside of the suite room. All around were couples and groups mingling and dancing elegantly to the sound of Victorian-style orchestral music. I was astonished. Even when I was led by Erik, everyone was dressed in modern formal wear, with a range of dresses and tuxedos. It was almost dizzying to see how much the aged music clashed with the modern fashion of patrons. Yet I couldn't tear my eyes away from the sight of the guests. Wow.
Welcome to a small taste of the demon world, my princess.
Aww, when he calls her princess, it's so cute. The guests were all demons, some with horns, some with tails, and the rest were an assortment of different looks. It was a conglomerate, why? Of people. I felt a bit out of place in someone who looked obviously human. As we stepped further into the space, a voice chirped out.
Erik, my boy, come fly over here, will you?
Whoa. I looked over to see a birdman with a polished tuxedo waved over us with a very handsome gentleman with mouse ears on his arm. Despite the nerves running through my system, Erik and I walked over. As Erik bowed his head, I quickly curtsied. For some reason, the way the birdman carried himself made him seem like a prince. I was in awe of his gorgeous tail feathers and beak, accented by the lavish suit he wore. Yeah, he kind of looks princely, doesn't it? I don't know why, he reminds me of a fucking, like, Final Fantasy character just because of his hair.
Connor, you look splendid. I assume you approve of your tuxedo?
Approve? I absolutely love it! Ricardo here won't let go of me because of it.
Oh, it's Jello Apocalypse who's voicing Connor, right? Because I think I read him on Tumblr, he said that he was voicing the bird guy, and I'm like, which bird guy? So I think that's him. I looked over to the masked man, who I assumed to be Ricardo, as he smiled coyly and hugging Connor's arm tight. Nodding in agreement of Connor's words, I smiled a bit as Erik laughed.
Very good. Well, thank you for inviting us to your anniversary celebration.
Aww.
It is an honor to be in such company.
Aw, that's sweet.
Nonsense! Thank you for attending! As the son of the most powerful demon in the abyssal planes, it's only proper to invite you regardless. My only regret is not inviting your brothers. I must seem so rude.
Oh, so Erik is exclusive? Erik waved his hand dismissively.
Think nothing of it. We actually denounced our titles when we came to this world.
You don't say? Well, good on you! You do such fabulous work as a designer here. It's no wonder that your suit shop is unmatched.
Aw. Connor finally turned his head to me and cocked a bit in curiosity. I felt a bit small under his gaze, but smiled respectively back.
And who might this lovely lady be? A human?
Erik nodded and lifted my hand to his lips, kissing it respectfully before our conversation partners.
This is my wonderful princess. I asked her to accompany me tonight to show her how elegant a demon ball can be.
How marvelous! I rarely get to meet humans. It is an absolute delight to meet you.
Connor held out his hand toward me, making me place my hand in it out of manners. Instead of kissing my hand, he lifted it to his beak it very gently and nipped a couple of times back at it, making me giggle a bit. Yeah, he doesn't have lips, right? He has a beak, so that would make no sense. It's a pleasure to meet you too. Connor released my hand and smiled back at me before looking back at Erik.
Well, Erik, Princess, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. Please enjoy the ball. Dance and eat as much as you like.
We shall. Thank you.
With that, Erik and I walked away from Connor and Ricardo, both who were waving at us before turning to find a new conversation partners. So, this is a demon ball?
Yes, Princess. You've been curious about what life was like for me in the demon world, yes?
I nodded. I was indeed curious about Erik's life in the demon world, but I didn't expect him to give me an experience. This was completely out of the blue. Erik gestured to the room where the couples on the dance floor were waltzing in sync. It was mesmerizing. So is this Erik's life, like, outside, I assume, his family, because his father's a total penis? I don't think he would throw balls like this, you know what I mean?
Well, this is a perfect representation of how Demon Royals celebrated. We had elegant balls filled with dancing and food, and they would only end when the sun came up.
Really? I thought the demon world was like the Dark Ages. This seems like a fairy tale ball, not really medieval. Erik chuckled and walked with me around the dance floor, continuing his explanation.
The demon world may be stuck in the Dark Ages, but we do take inspiration from the human world. Your fairy tales inspired our celebrations.
Aw, that's cool. I couldn't stop staring at the dancers and the demons in the room. There were so many people dressed up like royalty that I felt almost underdressed. There were some glances my way, but none with ill intent. That's good. It was probably natural since I was human in a room full of demons. Slyly, Erik led me into the dance floor and began to waltz with me out to the music. We remained outside the crowd, dancing to our own beat and sways as the rest of the dancers kept in time and step with a synchronized dancing. So instead of getting phones and computers, you get balls and dresses?
You are correct. The demon world has no need for computers or phones, but new traditions of celebration are always welcomed.
Can you just imagine that? Like, fucking all the demons using, like, computers and phones to talk to each other? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would fit the abyssal planes, you know what I mean? So, no. No raves or clubs?
Too human for our tastes.
No light shows or DJs?
That would require electricity, my princess, which we don't care to use. To us, it's a waste of energy.
I pursed my lips at Erik as he slowly began to eat us into the crowd. I barely noticed the dancers moving aside and stopping their dances to stare at us. I locked eyes with Erik, continuing the conversation. Do demons have balls often?
Unfortunately, no. Hosting celebrations take a large amount of resources, so we save balls for only the most grand of occasions.
Like birthdays?
Demons don't celebrate birthdays, princess. However, we celebrate the peaceful uniting of kingdoms or the crowning of a new ruler.
I became fascinated, even as Erik began to twirl me around to add an elaborate step into the dance between us. We both focused on each other as we let the world around us fade into a blurred outline of people and decor.
However, the human world has provided demons here the means to celebrate many more things.
Like Connor's anniversary? Erik nodded and dipped me in for a moment, staring deep into my eyes. Oh my god!
Exactly.
Oh gosh. No, this killed me, like... Okay, Michaela, if you guys haven't followed Michaela on Tumblr, you should totally do that. She was posting previews for, like, stuff about Seduce Me, and she posted this, but it was just Erik's lips, so I was just like, are you trying to kill me? Oh god, please, save me, Jesus. I held on to Erik, mesmerized by his lovely purple eyes. I squeezed my hand gently and caused him to lift me back up and hold me close in loving embrace.
And one day, I would love to hold an elegant ball for our union.
Aww, so cute! Erik? My face began to glow a soft rosy red as I smiled up at my prince. I loved him with every ounce of my being, and a fairy tale wedding and a ball seemed like a perfect way to celebrate. I stretched up on my toes and kissed Erik, ever so gently before pulling away with a giggle. I would love that. Erik stared at me in surprise for a moment before chuckling and nuzzling his head against mine, a playful but loving smirk against his lips.
My beautiful princess, I am yours forever.
Oh my god, stop. Why are you trying to swooning me too much, Erik? And I am yours, my Prince Charming. And the night became one of fairy tale dancing and seemingly happy ever after for me and my demon prince. Woo! That was it! That was Seduce Me, My Princess, and that was just an episode, guys, so that's why it's really short. But still, that was awesome. I loved it. Damn it! Now I have to go to Sam, and I'm just like, but Erik! You know what I mean? So that was awesome. I loved it so much. So thank you again, Michaela, for releasing an episode for Erik and, you know, my obsession for this series. I hope you guys enjoyed this small episode of Seduce Me. And remember, if you want to grab the game or the other games or the other episodes yourself, the links are in the description. Go get them, go play them, and become Seduce Me trash with me. So thank you. Make sure you guys check out Michaela's work. I'll have the links in the description as well. And you want to check out her Patreon to help support her and everything. Also, if you want to check out Chris's stuff, who voices Erik, I'll put Christopher Escalante's stuff if you want to check out his things, his music, or his Twitch streams he does every week. You should go there because I'm there every week. I try to be every week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Next time we come back and Seduce Me, I'm going to do Sam's episode, and then we'll get to Seduce Me 2 with Sam. And if you guys still want to vote for the next route, you guys can do that too. I have a poll in the description if you didn't check that out. Oh my gosh, I'm like just totally swooned right now. I want to replay this, Erik! Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe because your support really helps me out and lets me know that you guys are enjoying the stuff that I'm putting out here, even though majority of it is just like me freaking out over Seduce Me. So, yeah, that's that. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!